Something a bit different today. My PC is 10 years old, I think. It was second-hand when I bought it. I bought it for a friend who'd custom built it. It's been amazing. And to be honest, it still is. But because Windows 11 has come out and Microsoft is forcing us to upgrade or leave security updates behind, it kind of became time to get a new PC. And I thought I'd build one. And the last time I built one was 1999. I've had 4 PCs in my life. This is the 4th. So I thought I'd take you through what I've chosen, why I've chosen it, and then hopefully take you through the build, even though I'm clueless. The only bit I've opened so far, really, is this, which is the case. This is a Be Quiet Base 500. And I've bought a Be Quiet Base 500 on the grounds that hopefully it's quiet. So the PC needs to be okay for audio production with the modular synth and other stuff, but also I wanted something that I could look at that was pretty. These are really well priced. I paid £60 for this case, and it's an ATX mid case, I believe. I think that's the right terminology. It's not an expensive case, really. It's reasonably priced. So this case is going to be the basis for the build. I'm hoping it's big enough for the bits I've selected. To select the parts, I used PC Parts Picker. That's a website. You can go on there. You can kind of spec your build and all that kind of stuff. So this is the Be Quiet Base 500 in a steel grey. So it's pretty bland and boring, except for it has got a tempered glass window, which obviously I don't need. And from a silent point of view, that's probably the worst choice ever, because it'll probably be quite noisy. I'm going to get to know that case in a minute. Before I do that, I'm going to take the tempered glass off, because I don't want to risk damaging it. And knowing my luck, it's the kind of thing that I would break. So I'm just going to remove the tempered glass and put that somewhere safe in the box for now. So just 4 thumb screws, I think. And then it just lifts off carefully. So we'll just put that to one side. Make sure it's padded with some polystyrene in that box. And that's that. So yeah, mid-sized ATX case, really hard to see there, I'm sure. USB 3, only 2 on the front, but that's okay, there's plenty on the back. Headphones and microphone, which I won't use, because they'll be going through the audio card. Just move those out of the way. On the front, I believe this just pulls off. Terrifying, don't really want to force it, I might have to look at the instructions. And there's the case itself, if you can see. So plenty of room, space down here for the power supply unit. It comes with 2 fans. They're 140mm Be Quiet Silent Wings fans, I believe. And I'm hoping they're quiet. I've bought one other fan, only one other fan. So I bought another Be Quiet Silent Wings to put in the front so that I can create positive air pressure. Everything as I say, the last time I built a PC was 1999. Things have obviously changed since then, so I'm very out of date. The previous PC, the PC after that, I bought. I had a business at the time, and I paid someone to make a PC for me. Shout out to Russ if you're still out there in Canada. He wasn't in Canada at the time. He moved to Canada. He built a storming PC that lasted me for 12 years. It was brilliant. And then the last PC that I bought, as I say, was a friend of mine who built it, and I bought it from him at work. And that's lasted me 7 years, but I think it was already 2 to 3 years old when he sold it to me. That's been a storming PC. It's still really capable, to be honest. It's more than I need. But as I say, because of Windows 10/11 and all that, I've decided to bite the bullet. And I haven't actually paid yet. I don't own this. So it's all been bought with my money, kind of. I've taken out a loan, which is a terrible way to build a PC. But I'm impatient. I've got ADHD, and it's Christmas. So it was the only way I could get a PC built and buy some Christmas presents for other people, really. So I'll be paying it off for a couple of years. But then that's living in the UK at the moment, isn't it? That's what we're all going through. Money is, to say tight, is an underestimate. The top of this comes off. So we've got ventilation if we need it. We've got some nice sound damping there. That's a plastic panel. So that's that. And I'm going to get a good look at the case in a bit. So that's that. That's the case. There we go. So that's the Be Quiet Silent Bass 500, which, as I say, I hope is going to be big enough. I've got one spare fan that I'm going to fit shortly to the front of that case. Comes with some really nice instructions. Beautiful instructions, actually. I think Be Quiet, a German company. I believe. So they've got some really clear, nice graphic kind of instructions. So we'll be having a look at that in a bit. But also, I want to show, well, not show, I want to see what else I've bought. So I wasn't going to do it this way. I really wasn't. I was going to buy it slowly, a piece at a time. I was going to start with the case, then I was going to buy a power supply unit, and then next year I was going to buy a motherboard, and then a processor, and then a graphics card. And while I've been looking around, the prices have been going up and up slowly for a couple of reasons, I think. One is AI, and companies like Nvidia and AMD, Corsair, all these companies switching a lot of production towards stuff geared towards AI farms at a guess. Memory prices, RAM, is through the roof. It's really expensive. So I've been keeping an eye on prices for about a month, and prices have steadily been going up since the start of October. And I think that happens so that retailers can discount them on Black Friday. So I'm not 100% convinced about the Black Friday thing. So I was on Scan's website, scan.co.uk. They haven't sponsored this. Again, like I say, this is all kind of my money, or the bank's money. And Scan has always been a really good website. I used them back in 1999 when I built that first PC, to be honest. And they make it super easy to get into financial trouble because they've got options to buy now, pay later, spread the finance. So when I say I've got a loan, I've just applied for finance through Scan's website. I have to be honest, it was really good. It was really well done. It's really self-explanatory. Superb website. And of course that makes you buy the stuff, doesn't it? I also have to say, shout out to Scan. They use DPD for delivery. And DPD sent me a message saying they were going to be here between 1:24 and 2:24, and he was very close to 1:24. The driver was stunning in terms of that. I was blown away. So an hour delivery slot, and they hit it bang on. So that was pretty stunning. The other reason I'm filming this is because I haven't built a PC for a really long time. There is a chance that either I make a terrible mistake, in which case I can evidence that it was me, or there is, I suppose, a possibility, and I don't know, that maybe something doesn't work right. So, because I'm not done this for a long time, I wanted to just film kind of looking at stuff and putting it together, just in case there was a problem. Then I'll have evidence that it wasn't me, but it probably will be me. The other thing that's really good about Scan's website that's blown me away is for £30 UK, so what's that, maybe $40, there's actually some pretty good insurance against making a mistake in a build. It doesn't cover everything, but it does cover the most common kind of things, like, well, we'll have a look in a minute, but like damaging one of the parts when you're building it. So that, I don't normally buy insurance for anything. It's usually a con. But in this case, again, because I haven't done it for a really long time, I think, you know, it makes sense. Especially as like I say, I'm a bit out of practice. So let's start with the power supply. So one of the reasons I've had to do this, and I can't just upgrade my existing unit, is the power supply. So I think the power supply I currently have is only 500 watts, and all the modern processors and everything else seem to be needing quite a lot more. In fact, the graphics card in this box, which I'll show you in a minute, I believe it draws 450 watts, but I presume that's like at full tilt. So I've gone with, again, Be Quiet. I'm not sponsored by Be Quiet. Again, the only reason I've selected Be Quiet is looking at reviews online, but also value for money and the possibility of near silence. I don't think any air-cooled PC is going to be silent, but hopefully it's quiet. So I've gone with the Be Quiet Rock Pro 3 LX. Oh no, sorry, that's not that's not the power supply unit. That is the cooler. Sorry, we'll come back to that. Oh, there you go. It was just the right shape. I didn't really look. So I have gone with, I thought that wasn't the right name. I've gone with the Be Quiet. There we go. The Be Quiet Pure Power 13M. M stands for modular. 1000 watt. Now, 1000 watt is overkill. I don't need 1000 watt, I'm sure. But again, PC part picker. You can put in your specs, put in the card, the video card, the motherboard, all those parts, and it'll calculate roughly what you need. Now, in my case, it said 850 watts, but it recommended 1000 watts. I'm hoping that 1000 watts gives me plenty of overhead. So if I need to upgrade anything in the future, for the next 10 years, I should kind of be covered, maybe. It's 80 plus. 80 plus just means that it's 80% efficient plus, which doesn't mean much nowadays because apparently things have got a lot more efficient. The specs on this say that it's 94.5% efficient. It's a gold, they call it, they've got gold, silver, gold and platinum, I think. Platinum's supposed to be the most efficient. I've gone with gold just because price, and, you know, it shouldn't need anything cleverer than that. Have no idea what to expect in here. We've got a nice seal on the sticker. I've got my sharp knife. Let's try and do that without damaging the box. Can't work that out. Don't know which way it goes. There we go. Is it like that? I don't know. This is the worst unboxing ever, isn't it? It's unboxing by an idiot. So it's a bit like being a hunter-gatherer and not being able to get into a co-op sandwich. I don't know quite. I try and, as I say, try not really to damage the box. There we go. There we go. We're in. So quite intrigued to see what you get. Well, I know what you get. I looked it up. Packaging, all that. So there we go. We've got the manual. The manual covers everything from 550 watts to 1000 watts. It's in multiple languages, of course. There's English at the front. So loads of stuff in there. Overcurrent protection, under voltage protection, over voltage protection, short circuit safeguard, short circuit safeguard, temperature safeguard, overload protection. So lots of cool stuff. Compatibility, frequent problems, troubleshooting, accessories, notes on disposable and manufacturer detail. So really minimal. There's not a lot of information in there really. So I don't know what I'm doing, do I? So I could have done with a bit more than that. Probably online. So your standard IEEC, is that what they're called? Power cable, computer power cable. And then we've got all this. Now I'm hoping they've labelled them. They have. Don't know what it means, but they have labelled them. So VGA. MB is motherboard, I'm guessing. What else we got? CPU. So they're nicely labelled. That's really helpful. Most of them, not all of them. And I won't know what all of them do, to be honest. I'm not that clever. One will be graphics card. Thought that would be labelled. GPU. No, just the CPU. Got 2 for CPU. That'll split into 2 4s and an 8. So you can have 16 as one plug, I guess. I was hoping they'd label which end was for the box and which end was for the board, but I think they don't seem to do that. So that's okay. There we go, got those. And then we've got Molex on there, SATA drive, all the kind of standard stuff for the motherboard. And then we've got the power supply unit itself, which hopefully will fit. That'll be the challenge, won't it? So ATX 3.1 compliant apparently. I didn't particularly check much really, other than PC Parts Picker said it would fit. So I am hoping it will. And a modular power supply unit just means that the cables aren't permanently attached. So really pretty. Look at that. That's very pretty. I can't get my finger in. I want to spin the blades. It's very pretty, isn't it? I mean, it's just a power supply really, but it's so pretty. And there you go. So we've got motherboard. Not sure about P8, PCIe, so that's for the graphics card. I got 2 of those. You got the SATA drives. There we go. PCIe 5.1 is the new standard. We'll look at that in a minute on the motherboard. One of those has got to be CPU, I guess. Oh no, that'll be CPU. So I do need to look up some instructions and find out what I'm doing, because I'm fairly clueless. I will just check it's 1000 watt. Yeah, it is. There we go. And this is a UK... Oh, that's nice. I didn't know they did that. That's lovely. This is a UK power supply. It's a power supply for a computer being built in the UK. So it's at 240 volts on the mains. We've got some zip ties. We've got some screws to screw the power supply into the unit, into the case. I'll get there in a minute. Into the case. There we go. Can you tell this is unscripted? Can you tell I'm excited? So ADHD is a terrible disease, because what happens, you go on YouTube, you have a look at a few things, and before you know it, you've taken out a bank loan to pay for a load of stuff. The price on that in the UK, I paid just over £100. I think it was about £120 at Scam, off the top of my head. And you'll have to forgive me, this will all be off the top of my head. I'm not going to be very accurate about it. And you know, prices fluctuate, they go up and down a little bit. They're all over the place, aren't they? So there we go, there's the power supply. Messed the box up already. So I can't do boxes. Probably can't put a PC together either, but there you go. So that's the power supply. Pop that over there. So I am going to play with the power supply in the case first, I think, just to try and figure out kind of where things go and put the other fan in. I suppose the next logical thing to look at is the motherboard. Now, I did not have to spend this much money on another board. I could have bought a cheaper motherboard. But there's a couple of reasons why I've bought what I've bought. Everything seems to be designed for gaming. I don't really play that many games. I occasionally game. There's a game by Frontier called Elite Dangerous that I love, and I have played that for years, even right back to a BBC Model B in the 1980s and the original Elite. But other than that, I don't really game much, but I wanted a solid, dependable board that was well built, that had good heat dissipation throughout the layers of the PCB. I obviously needed a lot of connections at the back for audio stuff, and I wanted expandability. I wanted it to be able to last into the future. So after looking around a lot, I could have gone with a slightly cheaper board, but this one was so pretty, I couldn't resist it. So it really was, aesthetics did win me over a little bit. So this is, as it says on the lid there, the B850 Pro RS Wi-Fi from ASRock. Looking at the specs, looking at people's kind of reviews of it and stuff, this seems to do everything I need, plus a bit more. It will allow you to overclock bits. I probably won't, just because I don't like damaging stuff. So there you go. Lovely picture on the back. There you go. It's got some little LED lighting, because, you know, got to have that, haven't you? Sorry about the light. It's bad light, isn't it? Because it's shining on it. It says 14 plus 2 plus 1 power phase design. And from what I've gathered about the similar kind of price point, that's one of the better kind of designs of power supply. As I say, don't fully understand it, but my limited understanding means that the CPU lanes from the graphics card to the CPU or from the RAM to the CPU are well supported in terms of power. So you don't have a problem with that. Blazing M2 PCIe Gen 5 times 4. So it supports up to 4 NVMe M2 SSDs. So they're solid state drives. I think one goes there, two go there. Don't know where the other one goes. Guess there's somewhere else. So yeah, Wi-Fi 6E. So not the fastest Wi-Fi. There's boards out there now that are coming out with Wi-Fi 7. It's got heatsink on the bottom of the solid state drives, which is nice for the main one. Got plenty of in and out. So the main reason for this board was we've got loads and loads of USB 2. So we've got 4, 5, 6 USB 2. Got 2 3.2s, USB 3.2. We've then got I've got another USB 3.2 there, which is Gen 1. And then USB 3.2 there. So 1, 2, 3, 4 USB 3.2 plus USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type C. Got 2 of those actually. Blimey. Okay. So in terms of connectivity and future connectivity, there's loads there. And this is a board for an AMD. I hope it's a board for an AMD AM5 socket, so supports AMD socket AM5 Ryzen 9000, 8000 and 7000 series processors, which is what I bought. The chipset is AMD B850. The power we've talked about, so 14 plus 2 plus 1 power phase design, Dr. Moss for V-Core. Again, don't really understand that, but there you go. Memory is DDR5 and it's got 4 slots. Expansion slots, got 1 PCIe 5.0, so that's the new standard. That's a 16-lane graphics card interface, basically. The old stuff was either 4 or 8-lane. You've got a PCIe 4 at 16. Oh, I didn't realise that. I thought that split into 2 8s. Probably does split into 2 8s, to be honest. Graphics got integrated AMD RDNA graphics. I think that's their ray tracing, but I might be wrong. You've got a graphics output, so if your chip's got graphics on board, you're good to go. You don't need a graphics card. Storage, you've got headers for 4 SATA 3 drives, so the older SATA 3. I will be using some old spinny disks. I know it's very unfashionable, but I've got loads of data on 2 hard drives. PCIe Gen 5 times 4 lane on an M2 socket. So that's really the one we want to use for the operating system. So Windows will go on that one. Then you've got Hyper M2 PCIe Gen 4 times 4. So you've got 4 of those. So those are the other SSD slots. 1 Ultra PCIe Gen 3 times 4. And I think if you use the second PCIe slot, it knocks out one of those because you have to divide up the lanes. USBs we've covered. Audio, says it's got 7.1 channel HD audio from Realtek audio codec. And Narmic audio. Probably won't be using that. Got external card, haven't I? So there you go, but that's that. Realtek 2.5 LAN. We've got Wi-Fi 6 plus Bluetooth, and it's an ATX form factor case. It says there on software and stuff, some of the other bits, it's got BIOS flashback, auto driver installer, 8-layer PCB. I was really impressed with the 8-layer PCB, to be honest. That was one of the reasons for getting it, because having built modular synths, I know that the more layers of a PCB, the better it is at handling heat. The harder it is to solder, but the better it is at handling heat. So here we go. No idea what's in the box, and I won't be able to put it back together, will I? Can't do that. Wi-Fi antennae. How do you say that? Antenna, surely. Got a nice static bag. I'm guessing there's some stuff under there. Yeah, there we go. Let's have a look what we've got there. We'll grab that. Going to put the box back together. So, although I haven't done this for many, many years, I have read stuff that says stick the motherboard on the box. It's better than putting it on a table or on a carpet where you might have static, all that kind of stuff. Of course, I'm trying to do it one-handed because I don't want to put the motherboard down. There we go. So we'll put the box back together and we'll pop the motherboard on the box. And we need to do one other thing, of course, before we start looking at this. We need to find a way to get rid of static. Ugh. So I'm going to do that in a minute. I can't. It's just, why is life so complicated? 2 hands, it's easy, isn't it? So there's the box. I'm going to pop that on there. We'll have a proper look at that in a minute. The other stuff in the bag was two SATA 3 cables. Two SATA 3 cables, that's nice. We've got the quick installation guide. Probably tells us how to do everything. There we go. We've also got regulatory notices, so the legal bit, all the conformity bit, ROS compliant and all that. And we've got contact information for ASRock in Europe. Oh, interesting. Good. They've got a European thing. So that's great. Before I touch this, though, I don't want to really get static on anything. So I need a way to discharge my static. The way I'm going to do that is I'm going to use the power supply. So I'm going to turn this off for a second. I'll show you what I come up with, and then we'll carry on looking at stuff. So what I've done is I've plugged in the power supply. Can't see, it's a bit off camera. There's the power supply plugged in, not turned on, and then by touching that, in theory, that discharges any static that may be on my hands, on my body, in theory. So I'm going to touch that before I open stuff and play with stuff. I did download the instructions for this. It's very heavy. Before I received it, and it says to handle the motherboard by the edges, not the chips. Well, that's not a massive surprise, is it really? I mean, that makes sense. So I'm going to carefully try and remove it. There we go. So there is the ASRock Pro RS Wi-Fi. That's right, isn't it? I'm sure. It's pretty, isn't it? Isn't that pretty? I don't really know what's going on. I know the chip goes there. I know the RAM goes in slots 2 and 4. I think that's slots 2 and 4. I'd have to look a bit closer. I know that the SSD, the M2 NVMe SSD goes in there. I know the graphics card goes in there. I know that there's some more space for NVMe drives in there. I know the headers around the outside, and that's all I know. I don't really need to know much more, I don't think. In terms of on the back of it, those are the ports, as mentioned. I really like, actually, that they've put the antennae sockets at the top. That's right, isn't it? That's the top. Yeah. That's really neat, because usually they're at the bottom and then all the cables are in the way. So that's really lovely to see. I have got a HDMI output there if you are running onboard graphics. I'll turn it over. You've got the big plate on the back for the socket. Big steely plate. I don't know quite how that all mounts up. We'll have a look at the cooler in a minute. Really pretty. Very, very nice looking board. I won't know whether it's okay or not, of course, until much later down the road. Lots and lots of heat sinks. Loads of heat sinks. Yeah, so they're the MOSFETs under there, I believe, that are kind of connected to the processor. Do I want to remove it? I don't really want to open it, but I suppose part of the reason for this was to check the board. So I will try and open it. So you've just got a latch there. When that comes up, then you can carefully, without dropping it, lift up the cover and check the pins. So my understanding is that nowadays these are tiny, tiny little sprung pieces of metal. And it means that the liability has been moved onto the board manufacturer, not the chip manufacturer. A bit scary, because if you damage one of those pins, I presume it would be very difficult to fix it. And may void a warranty. I just wanted to have a quick look. They look fine. I will be probably today. The only thing I will do today probably is put the chip in, because I'm desperately scared that I damage it doing that, and I want to film it so that if I do damage it, I can say, look, it was my fault, and all that kind of stuff, and just check. So I probably will put the chip in shortly, but we'll see. It also says don't handle it by picking up any of the sockets or the heat sink, so you always want to handle it by the edge of the board. So we'll move that out of the way, and we'll have a look at the next bit. Really quite excited. Can you tell? I'm very excited. The next bit, there's a bit missing, by the way. which is the RAM, which I'll talk about in a minute. So this is the chip I've gone with. This is AM5 sockets. So this is the newer kind of socket. It should be good for, well, AMD generally support their chips for about 10 years. I think these have been out for maybe a year and a half, maybe two. So it's got plenty of life left in it. And it means that maybe down the road, there'll be a cheaper used chip that I could upgrade to. I've gone with the Ryzen 7600X. The X just means you can overclock it. It's slightly faster, not a lot in it. I was going to go for a 7500F because they're dirt cheap. But again, Scan made it too easy to buy the chip with everything else. Damn it, Scan. Damn it, Scan. This isn't the fastest chip. It's not the most expensive chip. This retailed with Scan at the moment. There's no Black Friday deal or anything. I think it was £165 off the top of my head. Something like that. So not the cheapest, not the most expensive. The 7500F apparently is really good for gaming. Probably not so good for productivity. This is a 6-core processor. And everyone says you need more than 6 cores for productivity. Everyone says go for as many cores as you can for things like audio workstations and video editing. But here's the thing. My existing PC has got 4 cores. It's an Intel i5. It's now, like I say, 7 to 10 years old. Still does everything fine. So I'm not totally convinced I need much more than this. And apparently the gaming performance is good. So if you do want to game on it, it'll be good. And what's changed, of course, is they've now got the contacts are literally just on the PCB. They're just contacts. There's no pins on the back of a modern chip. Years ago, they used to have loads of little tiny pins and you plugged it into the socket. So there's the AMD Ryzen 7600X. As I say, not the fastest chip, not particularly flashy, nothing like that. Well, that's fine. I don't need flashy as long as it does the job. 6 cores, 12 threads, I believe, off the top of my head. There you go. Tells you how to stick it in. I'm glad it tells you how to stick it in. There's no cooler with this. Didn't come with any kind of cooler, but that's okay because I wouldn't have used a supplied cooler anyway, just in case. I think there's an option to have the Wraith Prism. There you go, or the Wraith Stealth. So there we go. That's that. As I say, I will be putting that in today because I'm desperately worried that it might get damaged in some way. If I don't, I might not film it in case I cock it up. But there we go. So that's the processor. So pleased with that. And then the only other bit that's in the box from Scan is the graphics card. And you can pay a lot of money for a graphics card at the moment. I was horrified. I was shocked. The graphics card that I have is I can't even remember what it is. It's old, but it still does really well. But it's only got 6 gigabytes of VRAM. Modern cards, apparently, everyone's saying get something with 16 gigabytes of virtual RAM, VRAM. So that's a hell of a step up. I looked, and for second-hand cards with 12 gigabytes to 16 gigabytes of VRAM from the last generation, so PCIe 4, you're looking probably more than the current generation in price. They might be better, and I'm sure there are some that really are better, but the money's kind of more than you'd pay for a brand new one. And I kind of think, well, for what it's worth, we'll go with the new one. So we've gone with the Sapphire Pulse Radeon RX 9060 XT. It's their budget one. There's nothing particularly flashy about it, but the all-important 16 gigabyte. That's what we were after. The other thing with it is it's PCIe 5, so it's got 16 lanes of communication between this and the board, whereas an old last generation graphics card will only have 8. So key features: AMD RDNA 4 architecture, 32 compute units, 3rd generation ray tracing and 2nd generation AI accelerators. AMD Hyper RX, that's ray tracing, I'm sure. AMD Fidelity FX, super resolution, no idea what that is. DisplayPort 2.1a, so you can use a DisplayPort adapter instead of a HDMI. PCI Express, compatible motherboard with one 16-lane PCIe slot. So that's the PCIe 5 slot. Minimum power supply is 450 watts or greater. That's insane. Minimum 8 gigabytes of system memory required. 16 gigabytes are recommended. Supported operating systems include Linux and Windows 10 and 11. 64-bit operating system. 64-bit operating system required. One-click boost, so you can overclock it with clicking the mouse, I guess. Immersive ray tracing, so probably not quite as advanced as NVIDIA's ray tracing, which has been out a lot longer, but I believe AMD have done a really good job on this generation of graphics card from what I've read and watched. Oh, it's got AI. Yay. Don't really care about AI, but I'm sure it does something. It says second generation AI accelerators powering AMD Fidelity FX Super Resolution. I guess that puts frames in between other frames. AMD Radiance display engine with pro level 8K recording and streaming. Not interested in that, but there you go. So that's that. How do we get into it? I think it's there. I'm someone who would struggle to get into a can of beans, I think. No idea what to expect. As I say, it's budget. There's no bells and whistles. There's no flashy lights, nothing like that. I'll talk about lights in a minute. I've got a thing on lights. There we go. I don't want to open this the wrong way up. What a bizarre box. There we go. Ooh. Now, this is the first time in my entire life, I'm 53 years old, that I've bought a brand new graphics card. I think everything else has been second-hand because I'm tight and skint and never got any money. So this is quite a moment for me to open a brand new graphics card. Maybe I bought one of the first PC I built, possibly. Usual instructions. Handle the PCI Express graphics card with care to avoid causing damage during insertion or removal. Never twist or bend the graphics card. Make sure the PCIe cards are locking. Open. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty standard stuff. It's like sticking RAM in, really. It's the same, isn't it? So again, before I open this, I'm going to touch my power supply. Make sure that I haven't got any static. But I think graphics cards are fairly well enclosed. Oh, it's pretty. Oh, you know what? For apparently cheap graphics cards, I mean, say cheap, 300 something, 320 quid, 325 quid for the 16 gigabyte, 325 pounds for the 16 gigabyte. And apparently that's not bad. So I think they've been retailing at 350, 380. So it has come down in price. It's an 8-pin socket for power. On the end there, we've got a HDMI, 2 HDMI, and then that's the display port. Couldn't remember the name of that then. So display port. Don't know how quiet the fans are going to be. That is going to matter to me. It's quite pretty though, isn't it? Look at that. That's the bit you're going to see, isn't it? The bit on the end. It's going to be like that. Lovely. There we go. I don't know what else to say about it really, because obviously until you plug it in and get it going and all the rest, it's not very exciting, is it? It's just a lump of metal and plastic. But there you go. So that's the graphics card I've gone with. Can't remember which way up that was to put it back in the box. Oh God, here we go. Gonna break it already. Doesn't have to go back in the box properly, does it? Coming out again. So there we go. That's that. So that's all of that. The only it wasn't the last thing. The last thing was this from Scan. This is the other thing I bought from Scan. Pure Rock Pro 3 LX. And this is my only, apart from the lights on the motherboard and the lights on here, these are the only lights that are going to be in the box. I wanted to go with something slightly understated, but I still wanted to have a disco in my room when I wanted a disco in my room, if you know what I mean. So again, instructions, clear guidelines, I hope, because I'm stupid. Yep. Which is the AMD bracket. There you go, AMD AM5, AM4, so it's this one. So this is the installation process. We've got this bracket to put on top of the cover for the chip. Various different standoffs. I don't know why that one's got no standoffs and that one's got standoffs. I'm a bit confused. I guess I'll have to actually read it. So it's a tower cooler. There's loads of these on the market. all your different brackets for different things like Intel or AMD, AM4 or AM5. So it's got good compatibility. And my existing PC's got a all-in-one water cooler or liquid cooler. But reading and listening and doing my research, a lot of people are saying there's no point anymore because these are doing such a good job. So this is a tower cooler. It's quite big. It's a chunky boy, quite big. RGB fan blades, as I said. There's 2 fans on this. It's a twin tower design. This one's not mounted yet because you have to take it out to screw it down where it lives on the motherboard. It's very pretty. But those are the only lights on it. And how many heat pipes have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 heat pipes. It's not a vapor chamber. Vapor chamber means that there's another piece on the bottom that holds the vapor that spreads the heat. They're a bit more efficient, apparently. But, you know, it is what it is, and it wasn't overly expensive. So this cooler is £46, I think. And again, the real attraction with it is I'm hoping that the fans are pretty quiet. That's the reason for spending a bit more. You can spend less. There are cheaper tower fans. And I looked at the Thermalright, what was it? Thermalright Phantom Spirit with 140mm fans. Or, sorry, it's got 140mm fan. And the other fan is smaller, 120mm. And I was very tempted, but Scan didn't have it. They don't do it. So I went with the Be Quiet, because we've got lots of other Be Quiet bits, so why not keep that thing going? And then the only other thing I've bought so far is a drive. I didn't get this from Scan. I bought it before Scan. It was a cheapie. I paid 50 quid for a 1 terabyte, 7,000 speed, whatever. I don't really understand all this. But an M2 2280 PCIe Gen 4 by 4 NVMe SSD. Looking at the reviews, it's okay. It's nothing special. It's nothing super fast, but it's good enough, more than I need. So there we go. So that's got to go in there as well. And then, of course, some of you may have noticed there's a bit missing. And the bit that's missing is the RAM. And I don't have any RAM. And the reason I don't have any RAM is because it's on its way from China. I bought it from a website that I never used before, and I was a bit worried it could be a scam, but it was the only reasonable price I could find any RAM at. So I've got 2 sticks of 16 gigabyte coming. It's 6,000 megahertz. It's Crucial is the brand. Everyone says to go for CL30 for gaming, but I'm not gaming particularly, so I've gone for CL36 because it was about £50 cheaper than CL30. The CL rating is the CAS latency, and apparently there's milliseconds. There's 12 nanoseconds between CAS latency 30 and CAS latency 36. So it really isn't going to make any difference to me. If you're like a hardcore gamer and you've maybe got a better chip and all that kind of stuff, then maybe, yeah, it might make a difference. But for me, ain't gonna. So unfortunately, that stuff won't arrive for another 3-4 days. So I can't actually build this PC yet, which is a shame, but it's okay because it gives me time to slowly do it and be careful. I'm dreading putting this chip in. I really am. I'm really quite scared and nervous. I'm going to go and put some rubber gloves on so I don't get my smeary, greasy hands all over it. And I'm going to give it a go. And as I say, I am super nervous. I am really scared. I will film it just so you can see the mistakes because I'm sure there will be one, and we'll see how we go.